Welcome back to my class. In my previous class, we have seen how Lenshaw's cornfield was totally destroyed because of the hailstorm. And he says that there is no one who can help us. We'll all go hungry this year. So this tells us how his family is totally dependent on farming. And now that his field is destroyed, his family is going to go hungry. Right? So let us see. And he says that there is no one who can help us. That means probably he has no friends or family who can come and help him out. So let's move on with the story. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope: help from God. Solitary house, one and only one, lonely house. Since his house is lonely, there is no one who can help them. You understand? His house is the only one in the entire valley. We have seen at the beginning of the story, right? That's why there is no one to help him. So he feels that there is only one hope left. And what is that hope? Help from God. He feels that, he believes that God is going to help them. Don't be so upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. Probably his better half, his wife, says this. What is she saying? Don't be so upset. Don't worry so much. Don't be so concerned about this. Even though this seems like a total loss. This seems like a total loss. What is this? The damage caused by the hailstorm. Seems like a total loss. This is a simile because the damage caused is compared to a total loss, and the use of the word like indicates this is a simile. Remember, no one dies of hunger. You know, it is said God is there. Whoever has given us life is going to take care of our life. Whenever we are in trouble, God is there to take care of it. We all believe this. So here his wife also is trying to support him morally by saying that he need not be so upset. God is there to take care of everything. No one dies of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. So he's also saying yes. That's what people say. No one dies of hunger. So they're trying to, pat themselves. It's okay. Everything is going to be fine. They're trying to support each other in this time of difficulty. All through the night, Lenshaw thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. As a child, we are all taught one thing. What are we taught? God is watching you always. He's there. He's watching you always. So be careful what you're seeing. Be careful what you're saying. Be careful what you're listening. Be careful where you're going. Be careful what you're doing with your hands. So be careful always, because God is watching you all the time. Right? So he was taught the same thing. Lenshaw was taught the same thing, that God watches everything. God is seeing everything. Whatever we are going through, even our thought process that is going on in our inner conscience. That is what is said here. The help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed. Instructed here means taught. He was taught. What was he taught? That God's eyes see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience, even what is there in your mind, deep inside your mind, that is your thoughts also. Even that is visible to God. God can read even your thoughts that you're thinking in your mind. Lencho was an ox of a man, working like an animal in the fields. Lencho was an ox of a man. What does this tell you about Lencho? It tells us that he was a strong man, he was a hard-working man. Lencho is compared to an ox. And there is no use of like or as, hence this is a metaphor. Lencho was an ox of a man. This is a metaphor. He is compared to an ox. Okay, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. Though he was dedicated to farming, his life was dedicated to farming, but then he also knew how to write. He was a literate person. The following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter, which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. So he decided only God can help him. That is why, what did he do? He began to write a letter to God. Okay, and he decided to carry this letter to the post office himself. Look at his innocence. Would you do that? Now you are in trouble. Would you write a letter to God? You wouldn't do that, isn't it? That shows his level of innocence. How naive this person Lencho was. He was so innocent that he wanted to start a correspondence with God. He wanted to write a letter to God. God, he wrote. Let us see what he has written in this letter. If you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. He says, you need to help me. If you don't help me, my family and I are going to go hungry this year. There's no paying respects, right? There is no namaste, there is no good morning, good afternoon, there is no wishing God or anything like that. No prayers said. Right away he gets to the point. This tells us he was such a simple and no-nonsense person. Right? Directly he gets to the point. What is he saying? If you don't help me, God, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. You need to help me. If you don't help, this is what is going to happen. He is stating facts here. There is no beating around the bush. Straight, direct facts. I need 100 pesos. He demands a sum of money. Pesos is currency, right? So he says he needs 100 pesos. What for? In order to sow my field again. So he needs to start the process again. Process of farming again, right? So he has to sow his field again and to live until the crop comes. So he has to wait till the next crop comes, isn't it? Till then he and his family, they have to live, right? And he has no other source of earning. He depends completely on this field. So he is asking God for 100 pesos so that he can sow his field again and he can wait, his family can live till he gets his next harvest. Because the hailstorm is describing what all happened to his farm. He wrote to God on the envelope. So put the letter inside and still troubled went to town. So he folded the letter carefully, put it in the envelope, and you need to write the to address, isn't it? So what was the address, to address he had written? To God. See how simple a person he is. He has just written the address to God and he is ready to post this letter. And dropped it, at the post office. He placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. So he took this letter to the post office and dropped it in the post box. His task is completed. He wrote the letter, fixed a stamp and dropped it in the mailbox or the post box. Now what happens to this letter? What is the fate of this letter? Does it reach God? Let us see. One of the employees who was a postman and also helped at the post office went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. So usually when we write a letter and drop it in the post box, the postman comes, empties the post box from time to time, and then they sort these letters to be distributed to various places. Okay, so here also a postman came to empty the mailbox, and while sorting out, he found this letter to God. He found it very funny. Who is this person? Who is this foolish man who has written a letter to God? Who writes a letter to God? He finds it very funny, foolish. So he started laughing heartily. So he went to his boss. Who is the boss? The postmaster. The postmaster is the head of the post office, right? So he took this letter to God to the postmaster. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. Why was he laughing? He was laughing because he never received a letter to be distributed to God. Okay, to be delivered to God. That is why he was laughing away. In all his career, he never came across this address. Right? The postmaster, so what did the postmaster do now? Now that this letter is in his hands now. A fat, amiable fellow. So how was this postmaster? He was a fat, amiable fellow. Amiable means very friendly sort. Easily approachable person. You know, some people are easily approachable. You can go to them, you can talk to them very easily. You feel very comfortable talking to them. Such people are referred to as amiable, right? So this postmaster was an amiable person. Also broke out laughing. So even he started laughing. He found it funny that someone has written a letter to God. But almost immediately he turned serious and tapping the letter on his desk commented, "What faith!" But then, though he was laughing, suddenly he became serious. Why he became serious? He was totally shocked at the faith exhibited by this person who has written the letter. Why was he so shocked? That someone has so much faith in God that he started a communication with God, a correspondence with God. That was what intrigued him. Right? What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter. So he wishes, oh my God, look at this person. How much faith this person has got in God. I hope I have such level of faith myself. Starting up a correspondence with God. So he was utterly surprised by this letter, by seeing this letter, by saying that someone has started a correspondence, has written a letter to God. You write a letter only expecting a response from the opposite person, right? So obviously here Lencho is expecting some response from God. So that is what intrigued the postmaster. So he was not only attracted by this, he was not only intrigued by this, he also wanted to keep up the faith of Lin Sho in God. He felt that this person has got so much of faith in God, I must help this person. How he wants to help the person? By replying to his letter. He thought that he should reply to this man's letter in order not to shake the faith this man has got in God. So in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. Answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink and paper. So when he opened the letter and read it, he understood that just goodwill, a good heart to help others, ink and paper is not sufficient. This letter doesn't need a response in the form of another letter. What is needed here? Money is needed. Lin Sho wanted financial help, right? That is why he wrote a letter to God. So the postmaster understood that it is money that is required, not just pen and paper. And a good heart. Yes, good heart is needed even now. But just words are not sufficient. But still, what did he do? But he stuck to his resolution. He stuck to his resolution. Stuck is the past tense of the word stick. He decided to stick to his resolution. Resolution is the noun form of the word resolve. Resolve means to decide to do something. You know, every new year you take a new resolution to follow the whole year. You resolve to do something throughout the year. Whether you keep it or break it, it is up to you. But then you take a resolution every New Year day, isn't it? But this man, he was not like you and me. He stuck to his resolution. Once he decided to help Lin Sho, he is going to help him. That's all. Whether it needs just pen and paper or money. He decided he has to help him. He stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. So how did he get this money? How did he collect the money? He asked all the people working under him, all the workers in his post office to contribute some money for an act of charity, in the name of charity. Charity means to help someone who is in need. Okay, so as an act of charity, he went from person to person and he told them to contribute some money. Okay, whatever they could contribute, they tried to contribute. Then he went to his friends. He asked them also to contribute as an act of charity. They also contributed some money. And what did he do? He added a part of his salary to this money. All together he collected some money. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos. Though he went to this extent, it was difficult for him to collect 100 pesos. This tells us that 100 pesos is quite a large amount of money, but still he could not gather this amount. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lin Sho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature: God. So what did he do? He didn't write a letter See, I did this, I did that, I'm so great, I appreciate your faith in God, and in order to appreciate that, I collected the money, we all put so much money. He didn't write all these stories. He just did this not for the sake of name, not for the sake of recognition, not for the sake of gratefulness from Lensho. Why did he do it? Because he wanted to keep up the faith that Lensho had on God. Only for that he had done this. Okay, we do so many things. We'll make sure a photograph is taken. We will make sure that we post it everywhere so that everyone knows when we are doing something. Isn't it? Something good. But the post office employees didn't do this for the sake of any reputation. Okay, or any publicity stunt. This wasn't any publicity stunt for them. This was a good act, an act of charity, and they did it secretly. They did not want their name to come out. That's why in this letter he just wrote God, because he wanted Lensho to believe that this money was sent by God. So he wrote Lensho's address on the envelope. He put this money along with this letter with the single word God, and then he posted it. The following Sunday, Lensho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. So he came to ask, Lensho came the following Sunday to the post office to ask if he had any letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his post office. The postmaster, he was very happy and satisfied. You know, in class 9 you studied the lesson, the story of Happy Prince. A beautiful story where the swallow helps the Happy Prince help all the people in his kingdom, right? All the poor people and needy people in his kingdom. And once all the help is done, the swallow, in spite of the bad weather, the cold weather, the swallow feels warm from inside. Why does he feel warm from inside? It's because of the satisfaction that comes out of doing something good, because of the act of kindness, generosity, right? So here also the postman was feeling very happy and satisfied from inside, just like the swallow, isn't it? So here the postmaster was experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed. So he was watching from his place. He was watching the reaction of the farmer, of Lensho. Lensho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. He was not at all surprised. He was not at all surprised. That was the level of his confidence in God. He has written a letter out of confidence that God is going to help him, and now with the same confidence he is not at all surprised that God has helped him. He received the letter and he knew that it is from God. Lensho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Such was his confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. When he counted the money, he was upset. He became angry. Why? God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lensho what he had requested. Two reasons. This again proves his utter belief, faith in God. What are these two statements? One, God could not have made a mistake. God is all powerful, omnipresent, omnipotent, isn't it? So God cannot make a mistake. That is what he believed. Nor could he have denied Lenshaw what he had requested. And God knows. He was taught that God is watching him. He sees all the hardships he has gone through, all the difficulties he has gone through, and how his farm was destroyed. God has seen everything. So he will not deny him the help. So God did not make a mistake, and God did not deny help to Lenshaw. Then why is the money less than 100 pesos? That made him very angry. Right? Immediately, Lenshaw went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. He went to the office people to ask for paper and ink. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow. Wrinkling. You know, when you're upset, you wrinkle your brows, your eyebrows. With much wrinkling of his brow caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp, which he licked and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. So, once again he wrote a second letter to God now. We do not know as of now what he had written, but looks like he is very much disturbed. With he had to put in a lot of effort to write this second letter. Okay, he wrote this letter, closed the envelope, and fixed a stamp on the envelope. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. The postmaster, he was anxious. He was curious to know, now what? What did he write? Is it a letter of thanks for getting all this money? He expected something like that. Gratefulness, thankfulness. You know, that is what we do, isn't it? Whether we get help from God or someone else, when we receive help, we are grateful to them. Oh, thank you so much. You helped me. You pulled me out of my troubles. You know, we are very much grateful. We are thankful, isn't it? So the postmaster probably expected something like this in the second letter. It said, now he opened the letter. And what was written in that letter? God. Now again, the second letter also was written to God. So what was written? Of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. There's no thank you. Oh God, thank you for your help. There is no prayer again. No prayers, no thanks. Okay, what was there? He's demanding. He says, I asked you for 100 pesos. And in this envelope there are only 70 pesos. Okay, send me the remaining money. Come on. It's like a demand. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. See, I am very genuine. I need this money. You need to send this money to me. Right? So, he is demanding the remaining 30 pesos. But, once again, he has another clause to this. Don't send it to me through the mail. He says, please don't send it through me. There's no please. So don't send it to me through mail, he says. Because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. So he says, these people, don't send it through the post office, because the people who are working here, all the employees who are working in the post office, they are a bunch of crooks. Crooks means dishonest people, people who cheat others. Okay, these people, they are all dishonest people. They cheat everyone. Don't send the money through the post office. Send it through some other means, he says. Okay, that is the irony of the story. Look at the pains these people have taken. They have given a part of their salary. They have taken pains. They were so compassionate so considerate for this man, for his trouble. They felt for him and they contributed money. And what does he call him in return? He calls them a bunch of crooks. This is how human relations are sometimes. This proves that Lensho definitely has unparalleled faith in God, but he doesn't trust human beings, fellow human beings at all. This is clearly seen in this story. Now, what do we learn from this story? We learn that, the story begins with the beginning line. It says, faith can move mountains, isn't it? It is said that they say faith can move mountains. This is how the lesson started, isn't it? So that is proven here in this story. Yes, Lensho's faith brought him this money. Whether it is God who came down or whether he used the post office employees as his messengers, they are God sent, they are God's messengers, right? Whether he understands or not, whether he approves of it or not, these people acted as messengers of God, mercenaries, like angels, right? So they acted as messengers of God and they helped Lensho, isn't it? So faith can move mountains. Yes, that is proven in this story. We can see how innocent and naive Lensho is, in the way he thinks that there is no one can help me, only God is going to help me. He trusted God and only God. There's one more thing from the post office employees' point of view. Their act of generosity, they all were generous enough, isn't it? They put in their money, they contributed towards this good deed to help Lensho. They did not expect anything in return. So whenever we help someone, we should not expect something in return. Expecting something, whether it is in the form of publicity or in the form of some return from them, return gift from them, or a praise from them, or commendation from them, all this is expectation. When there is expectation, there is definitely a disappointment. So when you help someone, don't expect. Just help wholeheartedly. Give it out wholeheartedly, just like the post office employees have done. They know that Lensho will never get to know that they have helped him. They knew that they are not going to get this money back. So they won't get a publicity here, they won't get their money also back. But still, all of them, they contributed. This is how help should be. This is another valuable lesson we learn from this story, A Letter to God. Though he has been very innocent and naive in striking correspondence with God, in writing a letter to God, he definitely got a wonderful response, a reply. Though not directly from God, but probably God got into their minds and made them contribute and give this money to Lensho. Right? So that is all about the story, A Letter to God. If you like my channel, please do subscribe and share it with your friends so that they also can be benefited. Thank you all. See you in my next conclusion lesson.